Hey, it's Blastzone Mike and my good buddy Jim Foster, and you are watching Fact, Fiction, or Fantasy. You make your choice, whichever one you think it is. And we're going to start off this week by saying we're sorry that we haven't been here. We've had some things going on between the both of us, and we're going to get on track though. We're going to get this thing recorded every week.
I got a lot of Facebook messages. Hey, when you get back, get back. I'm like, well, here we are.
So first thing I got to ask you, okay, Mr. 3MB and all that, Mr. Dance Party. You've already talked about that. Y'all can go and watch the things where we talked about Mr. Dance Party.
The boy band days.
The boy band days. You know, he's about my age and still looks like he's like in his 30s. So I don't see how that works. I guess if I become a flat earther, maybe it might work and I might revert.
It'll make you younger.
Yeah. So there you go. Trying to keep me on the cuffs of is it true or not? Anyway, and I got a story for you too. So anyway, but my first question has to be, have you been banned from Facebook this week?
Well, it was last week. Somebody tried to turn. I'm still on, so that's the good news. Because typically my bans are 30 days now. 30 days, bam. 30 days, bam. This lasted about 3 or 4 or 5 hours because I fought it, or whatever algorithm they're using, I guess, liked me however I answered the question. So the answer is no, but yes, they tried.
How is it? I've been banned before. Okay. You know, in January, it'll be 5 years I've been doing Facebook Live. Of course, I took a lot of this year off of Facebook Live, but next year I'm going to start doing Facebook Live every day and then put it on YouTube. But I was banned from Facebook, I think 3 times in my whole life since 2009. And that was during my Facebook Live days. And man, you couldn't fight with them people. They didn't answer a message. They didn't even acknowledge your existence. How did you get them to acknowledge you?
Well, okay. So we've reached AI status, right? Have you been keeping up with the New World Order system and AI and the singularity?
That's why I got you.
Huh?
That's why I got you.
Yeah.
I don't have to keep up with it. You can tell me.
Well, we have reached singularity in this algorithm. So the algorithms now are really controlling all of Facebook with respect to content and words, right? So anyway, so my response, and because they're not people. So I mean, some of them there are a few arbiters at the top that they'll go to. But if you really think about this, right? Think about this. You've got what's the number they say is on Facebook? 3 billion, 2 billion people. Mm-hmm. They needed an algorithm to keep track of all the content because they couldn't hire a staff big enough to control the content of 2 billion people, right? So these are these algorithms that are coming in. They have reached a singularity, which in that terminology is that this AI algorithm has reached a conscience of its own, or so they say. That's what this kind of ties in to Revelations 13, all that stuff that we're talking about the end times, right? He gave power to the image so it could speak and it could cause death and all that stuff. That's where all this is headed. But with respect to being banned, I typed in the right words evidently, and I think my ban was like 3 or 4 hours, something like that. I was mad too. I can't remember what I said. It was something. I mean, it really wasn't. It was something that wasn't on the radar in my mind because it was some little word I said, something, whatever it was, and went bam. I'm like, shit, I'm out for 30 days. It was like 3 hours.
Well, you know, I mean, when you do videos where you're like walking in Walmart, following the arrow and saying, "I'm not going to walk that way."
Well, dude, I walked in. I walked in. If you remember, I walked in with a thong. I put a thong on my face and walked in and said, "Is this okay?" And they're like, "Yeah." And then I'm doing. You see, I'm have my phone in my hand. You see, it's all about control. You know, it has nothing to do with your health.
Well, I asked you to watch a friend of mine's show that they record just right down the road from me called The Michael Jiveness Show.
I want to be on it.
And that really, man, this last week's episode, man, got heated because he had a debate with another guy. And that guy, people were mad because he was in front of a "Don't Tread on Me."
Yeah, when I was watching it, so
flag.
we got two guys sitting together, and then the
Yeah.
other guy was on the other screen, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So was it the guy by himself that has the "Don't Tread"? I
Yeah.
can't remember.
yeah,
Okay, all right, yeah. And the guys, these your two friends
yeah.
were getting heated because the two guys together, he's going, the government's telling you you have to put something into your body, and I agree with him. I'm like, you don't have a "Don't Tread Me" flag behind you and you're going to say let the government tell you what to do with your own body.
And he was like, and it was just the start of Omicron because we really didn't get Omicron really deep until like a couple of days ago, and
okay.
As we know, the government is going to keep on coming up with these stupid variants of the COVID.
Well,
and this is the thing that gets me. Okay, let me tell you what gets me. Two things. First one is they have no clue what Omicron is yet, but they keep on saying you got to get a vaccine. The second thing is, me and Hope heard it on the radio, and she's right here. She'll tell you. They said we don't know if it's targeting senior citizens or young adults. In my mind, that's saying this thing has a mind of its own. It's going to be like, oh, watch out there, you 14-year-old. I'm going to get you before it's over with. And it's like the mind of a normal person is sitting there listening to that. And then they're going to go tell their friend. They're like, oh, we got to do something. We got to do something because our kids, our grandmothers are going to die. And it's like
they call that confirmation bias.
And it's like, why do these people tell us this shit? And then it gets construed. It's like, okay, I talked to my friend in UK, and he told me they're probably going to shut the UK down because of it. They'd already shut down Australia for it. And it goes back.
Australia.
Not Australia, Austria. Austria.
Oh, Austria. Okay.
Austria has been shut down. Australia is in shambles from the other virus. I mean, they're in complete shambles. And, and then now they're saying this comes from South Africa. So now
let's blame it on the blacks. Let's blame it on the blacks.
Yeah, but you got to remember, this is the president that has a black vice president, but said, what did he say back in the day about black people?
He said a lot.
But I mean, what is his main quote he said? I can't remember his main quote he said.
Oh no,
about black people.
There's 2 or 3 quotes about the end. Listen, they're the biggest racists on the planet, and they keep us down here fighting. Let me tell you about these variants. So as we know, this thing in your arm that you're getting, okay, it's never been about your health. It's about control. What is in this? Graphene oxide. What is graphene oxide? That is what your pencil's made out of. That is the smallest molecular part of the pencil. Okay. Now, Delta. What was the first variant? Delta.
Yeah.
Right. So what my whole point of telling you this, is that the Luciferian controlled New World Order system does all of this on certain days. They use certain words, certain ley lines. Okay, longitude, latitude. During eclipses. Haven't you heard everybody's down at the Antarctic? You know about that, Mike?
No.
Oh, God, no. Oh, no. All the leaders are down at the Antarctic. And there is no Antarctic because this is what we live on. This is our Earth right here. But they're down at the lowest point of what the ice circle is. But all the leaders are down there in Antarctic. All the leaders of the world are down there. What happened? There was an eclipse. So all of this stuff, guys, is tied to cultism and the cabal. So what is Delta? The first variant was what? Delta, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are Delta waves? Do you know what Delta waves are? Delta waves are
sleep.
When you're sleeping. Those are the waves that are made in your brain. They're called Delta waves. So now Delta, we're asleep. What's Omicron? What is it? What is okay? Now remember, in cultism and Satanism, symbols, gematria, and anagrams is what they use in Satanism. Okay, mm-hmm. We're being run by a bunch of Satanists. What is an anagram of Omicron? If you spell it out, Moronic.
Moronic, yeah, that's
You're
right.
a moron. You're a moronic. So the first one was you're asleep. The next one's you're a moron. Okay? They choose all of these words that have a meaning and have purpose. One of the biggest meanings that they're sitting back laughing at all the people that are getting this in their arm, thinking it's for their health. And my aunt, three people in my family have died now. Or no, let me back up. Brooke's grandmother died right after the vaccine. My dad died last August of this pandemic. And then my aunt just died last night or 2 nights ago, 3 weeks after she got this. They're killing the old people. It's not about your health at all.
And the thing that gets me is the fact that they still are pushing the vaccine, even though this new Omicron.
Mike, when is the whole world? When is the whole world governments agreed on something? Never. So what is their motive? Why are all the governments? Why are they in lockstep about this? Right? They have an agenda, folks. It's called depopulation. Look at Agenda 21 and Agenda 30 out of the UN. Look at Event 201. You know what Event 201 was?
Mm-hmm.
That was Bill Gates and all the world leaders, George Soros, all of them. It was called Event 201, and they did a mock pandemic. This is October of 2020, and what happened in March of 20? I'm sorry. This is October of 2019 when they did this Event 201, and what happened a few months later? Bada bing.
Well, something else that came across this week too is Biden's decided he's going to go with Trump's way of immigrants, even though he don't agree with him. Have you heard about
Trump's
that?
What?
The way that Trump wanted to deal with immigrants, Biden administration is going to go with that technique now with immigrants.
Okay. Well, and that's a sideshow. And what's that? What's that about? About what? How's he doing it? What does Trump want?
But see, the thing is, that's deflecting us to think about things like that instead of what's really going on.
Oh no, yeah, that's hello, Trayvon Martin, hello, George Floyd, hello, riots. That's what they do, because while we're down here doing this, the globalist agenda is moving forward, and everybody's sitting back blissfully unaware because they're too sheepish and too busy doing what they're doing. It doesn't matter who's in office. I hope people watching this understand it doesn't matter who's in office. They own everything. That's why nothing will ever get better. Trump is Obama. Obama is Trump. Bush is Trump. Bush is Obama. Bill Clinton is Bush. They're all globalists. There is no Republican Democrat. This two-party system is to keep us busy down here at the bottom while their agenda keeps going forward. And I pray to Yahweh. I pray that people are waking up to see this, that we've been being played in a long game, and they've been playing this game for quite a while.
Do you think it goes back to farther than the Masons and things like that?
Yeah. So the modern day goes back to the Illuminati that was founded in 1773 by what's his name? I can't remember the guy's name, but it's all documented. The Illuminati, right? But this goes back to Mesopotamia. This goes back 4,000 years. These bloodlines, okay? So you fast forward. You have Adam and Eve, then Noah, then Enoch, of course. Everything after Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve had Cain and Abel, right? Cain and Abel. Yep. Cain and Abel were half brothers. Okay, Satan birthed Cain. Adam birthed Abel. They were half brothers. Okay, Cain kills Abel. So then the Cain bloodline. There's a whole bunch in the Bible and about the Cain bloodline. But what did Adam and Eve do? Because that was the Jesus bloodline was supposed to be Abel. They had Seth, and Seth is the bloodline that had Jesus. Okay, so these two bloodlines have been fighting forever, and they split up into 13 bloodlines now. The Merovingians being one of them. So this goes all the way back 4,000 years, 5,000 years. You come forward into the guys. We have been fighting these families. And do you remember I want people to look this up. There was a little girl in 2012, I think. She was 13, 14 years old that put all of these, and she proved by the lineage that all the presidents are related. They're all related down the line. And not only the presidents, but also the queens, the people, the leaders in Iraq. I mean, they're all related. If you're at the very, very top of this 1% pyramid, they're all related. Look it up. Teenage girl does Obama family tree or something, and they're all related. So this is the oldest war that's been going on since Satan fell from heaven, since Yahweh threw Satan to earth. And we've been fighting this to this day. We just lost the knowledge of that because churches don't teach anymore. I'm so mad at our churches. We don't have. It's not like in the 50s and 60s and 70s when you have a Baptist preacher up there, fire and brimstone, but they're not doing it now. They're all happy-go-lucky with their little messages and, hey, give me some more money.
I was letting you go on.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. No. Okay, yeah. I thought you want to say something. No. So they're all these bloodlines. These bloodlines is what we've been fighting since Adam and Eve. Okay, this is Satan. This is all about Satan. And when I give talks and I talk to people and I'm out in a group, wherever I'm at, whatever setting I'm in, if it comes up, I go, guys, I understand. If you don't believe in God, that's fine. If you don't believe in Yahweh, if you don't believe in Yeshua, if you don't believe in Satan, if you're an agnostic or atheist, understand it doesn't matter what you believe. It doesn't matter what I believe. I believe in both, but it doesn't matter. Okay, let's say that I don't. It's the people, these bloodlines, the Merovingians being one of the main ones that are steering this crazy train, and they believe in a higher power, right? So let's say that Yahweh is not real, Yeshua is not real, Satan is not real, right? Let's just say that none of it's real, but they believe it's real, and we're on their crazy train, and we can't get off. So it matters what they believe because everything they're doing is a consequence to us, right? So now, does it matter if you believe for your own salvation, right? It does matter if you believe in Yahweh and Yeshua and Satan. But take that out of the frame and understand it doesn't really matter what you believe because we're on their ship. They're steering the ship and we can't get off. So we have to understand that they believe in something, and that something is a higher power to them, and everything that they're doing is a consequence to us, like this, like we're in this, like you can't do anything. It's about control. What is Satan's world about? What is this new world order going to be about? The main word. They want your soul, but it's all about control.
But I think new Satanists, people that are a part of the Satanists, they say they're Satanists, don't want to have nothing to do with this.
Say that again.
Satanists of today, they just don't believe in God, pretty much. Not atheists, but Satanists. We know a Satanist. We've had a show where he was on it before, and we've talked to him and things like that. I know you know what I'm talking about. And his belief's nothing like that, though. His belief is nothing of the Luciferian world order like you're talking about. So these have to be old Satanists, not new quote-unquote Satanists.
Kind of Satan. He sounds more like he sounds more agnostic than anything, right? I don't know. Being a Satanist, you're worshiping Lucifer, the light bearer, the morning star, Isaiah 6, right? So if he's a true Satanist, that in and of itself means you're worshiping a deity called Satan, right? So I don't know where he falls in that.
And really Satanists of today get a bad rap because they're not going around sacrificing people and crazy shit like that.
You don't know that. Are you in their basements? But you know what I'm saying? There's oh gosh, and here's the other thing too. What about all the child stuff that's been going on that we're now coming to find out that all of these elites, Epstein Island and all the guys, they are a bunch of crazies that are running the world. And it's a big, George Carlin said it the best. It's a big club and we ain't in it. But we need to be aware of what's going on and everything. Mike, I'm here to tell you, and people that will see this, you need to get it. You need to understand that everything is tied to gematria, symbols, numerology. in their world. I'll give you an example. Okay, here's a prime example. Everyone can Google this and look it up. When did the Berlin Wall come down? This was the Berlin Wall. So everybody knows the Berlin Wall was the rebirth of the New World Order. How do I know that? Well, the rebirth of the New World Order happened on 11/9. I want you to write that down. 11/9, right?
Mm-hmm.
89. So what happened? This is November 9th, 1989. The Berlin Wall comes down. Okay. What happens 10 months later? What's 10 months later? 9/11.
Yep.
What happened on 9/11, 1990? George Bush. This is in Satanism and occultism, manifestation magic, chaos magic. Okay. This and lesser magic. Okay. Those are the three magics: chaos, lesser magic, and manifestation magic. So on November 9th, Berlin Wall comes down. 10 months later, on 9/11, George Bush manifestation magic during the address to the Congress, State of the Union, he spoke the New World Order into existence. Okay, so people go, well, what are you talking? Yeah, he spoke it into. They have to tell us what they're doing. That is universal law. They can't hide anything from us. That's why everything's hidden in plain sight. So November 9th, 11. So what's the opposite of 11/9? 9/11. Everything is numerology. Okay, symbols, grammatry, folks. You got to understand that this thing that happened this week down in Antarctic, they did it during an eclipse. Okay, all of this stuff is tied to occultism. Okay, so now what happened on 9/11? Now this is, remember, 11 years later. 11 is a master number in masonry and occultism. 11, right? What happened 11 years later on 9/11? The engine of the New World Order was turned on. That was 9/11 under George Bush W. And what book was George Bush reading? What book was George Bush reading? He was reading I Pet Goat. You got to look it up, folks. Everything is connected. And it's so hard to tell people this, and they don't get it, so it has to sink in. Go ahead.
So today, you know what happened today, right?
No.
Amazon went down.
I had no idea.
Amazon went down. Credit cards went down. Disney Plus, Netflix, all of it went down today.
Huh.
Is that got anything to do with all this stuff you're talking about?
Yeah, yes, it does. When anything happens like that, when Facebook went down, they're doing something. Now, what they're doing, I've got a friend of mine, he goes by Tommy Truthful. He is really deep into stuff. He's been doing it longer than I have with respect to the grammatry and the numerology. I used to be really heavy into it about 10, 12 years ago. My message is more a surface level, going, hey, start looking here, look here, and open your own eyes, right? But to your point, yes, when they do things like this, they're doing something. It's either, when Facebook went down, I think they were plugging in more to the AI system. When Amazon, they're doing something. Okay, they're the billion-dollar companies just don't. I mean, we can all agree that a billion-dollar company just does not go dark, right?
Yeah,
for no reason.
I mean, I think some of it's still offline right now.
Well, so right, yeah. So they're doing something. They're setting something up. They're doing something to their internal systems, the algorithms, something like. There's something going on. Okay, we won't know what it is for a while, or we may never know, because it's something that is sub-level that they do to maybe get more control of your credit card. I don't know what it is, but just suffice it to say that a billion-dollar company does not go down without a reason. Now, they might pop up tomorrow and go, well, we had a hacker. They always blame it on hackers. Right?
Yeah.
It's always a hacker. But no, it's not a hacker. Don't believe anything coming out of the mouth of the media. Zero. Believe nothing you hear and half of what you see.
I got to tell you, the other day I was going to tell you about a story. So me and Hope were on our way home, and there was a full moon. Okay. And me and Hope both at the same time looked at each other. And I said, Jim Foster might be right. the moon might be this translucent. Because we were both looking at it. She's sitting right here. She'll tell you. You remember that? It was so big and bright and looked like a disc, like you talk about all the time.
Uh-huh.
And it was weird because we saw it for that instant, and then we were driving still, and it just disappeared. It was like the big, bright moon that looked like we were running right into it, just disappeared. And you couldn't see the moon anywhere. I mean, we could not see the moon anywhere, not even small, nowhere. It was gone. It was like it was revealing itself to us and only us. And then it just disappeared. And she'll tell you. It just disappeared, didn't it, Hope? We couldn't find it. You know, sometimes you see a moon over here, and or, you know, something like you see something like the sun.
Yeah, sometimes you can follow it or what.
Yeah. Man, this thing just disappeared. I mean, it looked like Luke Skywalker in Star Wars looking at the moons right there in front of him.
Yeah, right. Yeah, okay.
And then it was gone. I mean, it was literally gone.
Well, that might have just been for you guys, because I mean, God work. I mean, He's there working. Genesis 4, the lesser light to the lesser Genesis 4, the lesser light to rule the night. But if you ever look at the moon, anybody watching this, there's with the moon, guys. The answers are everywhere. We just have not been taught the answers. If you look at the moon, it's translucent. You can see stars going behind it. Okay, so it's a projection of some sort that God put in. And I've done this experiment 4 or 5 times with church groups and Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts. Haven't done it in a long time, but a full moon during the summer. How hot is it during the summer, right?
Uh-huh.
So especially in Tennessee, Mississippi, Oklahoma, Texas, Alabama, hot, right? If you're out on a full moon and you have shade and you have moonlight, right? So let's say there's a house and the moonlight is hitting your driveway, but part of it's in shade and part of it's in the moonlight. If you take a temperature gauge laser and you point it to the shade and then point it to the moonlight that's hitting the concrete, the moonlight's going to be 2 degrees, typically 3 degrees cooler than the shade, because the moon is its own energy source. Do you remember getting a sunburn when you were a kid? I remember this vividly. Getting sunburns when you're a kid, you're out at the lake with your river, with your parents or whatever it is, been fishing all day, get sunburned. And then at nighttime, you're outside, but you got your chills, a little bit of chills.
Oh, yeah.
When the moon's on you. I don't know if maybe somebody watching this had that happen, but that's if you think back, if the moon was hitting you, you were a little chilly because the moon is its own energy. It really is.
I thought that was just because we were afraid that Thriller was going to start by Michael Jackson and people were going to start coming out of the ground. You know, I didn't know what that was. You know, but I mean, that's like with anything. I mean, you can be sitting somewhere and all of a sudden you feel a cold chill, and then it's gone. You know, I had a perfect example of that. I was in Nashville, Tennessee at the Ryman Auditorium, the original Ryman. And I was up in the auditorium part. You know, they have downstairs and upstairs where the auditorium comes across, you know, balcony. And the story goes that Patsy Cline would pace back and forth and drink in the balcony when everybody else was singing on the Opry, because this is the original Opry stage, not the new one. I kept on feeling this breeze go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And I told my friend, I'm like, do you feel that breeze? He said, but don't worry about it. It's just Patsy Cline. And then when he acknowledged it, it went away. It was gone. But for that moment, you feel that breeze coming back and forth, you know, and it's a true story, man. I mean, and it's like, people don't believe. There's people that do believe, and there's people that don't believe that entities you can still feel them in the places where you're at, you know, because you got to remember, we're not the first people in this place. And we're not going to be the last people in this place. So people have to leave energy when they leave.
Yeah, we're all energy. The universe is set up energy, vibration, energy, vibrations, and frequency. Okay, that's vibrations, frequency, and resonance, and energy. That's how the universe is set up. Nikola Tesla was a savant in teaching this, right? So yeah, we always leave a marker when we leave. You can't destroy. That's why it's so important for people to understand. Getting this, it's not about your health. They want your soul. This is about control. The New World Order system, Satan's, they have to bring in the New World Order first before the one world religion, because they have to get you.
So do you think if you take the jab, as people are starting to call it now, even in the United States, starting in Australia and starting in UK, calling it the jab, is that the mark of the beast?
It's not. No. The mark of the beast. The mark of the beast is a mark of worship. I want this to sink into people's heads. The mark of the beast is a mark of worship. Okay? They're not asking you to worship this, but I'll tell you what this is. There's a difference between the action to do something and the permission to do it. Okay? There's a difference between the action of doing something and the permission to do it, right? So the permission to do it and the action of. So let's talk about those two. This gives you the permission to do it. Or I'm sorry, no, this gives you the action. So once you have permission, you already have the apparatus, right? You already have your credit card or whatever it is, whatever apparatus they have for you, right? That's the action to do it. You need permission first. Okay, what's the permission? So your credit card, the mark of the beast is Islam. Islam is going to be the one world religion. Okay, I document all of this stuff in my writings. Okay, Islam is going to be the one world religion, and the mark of the beast in the Bible. In the Bible, it says most people are familiar with you receive a mark, right? You've probably heard that before, right? Mm-hmm. You receive a mark. The original Aramaic into Hebrew into the Septuagints, the original language, the original verbiage is you are given a mark. Okay, so you're given this mark to accept or to reject, just like Yeshua, your Savior, gave you the choice to accept him for eternal life, right? The Satan always copies God the opposite way. Satan is the opposite of God. Everything he does, he perverts. There's always a little bit of truth in it, but he always perverts it. So the original vernacular, the original language in the Bible is you are given a mark to receive. But so understand that the mark of the beast is going to be you're given on in your right hand, in your right hand, or on your forehead. Well, what does Islam wear? They wear a headband, right? Mm-hmm. And an armband, right? Okay, so that's what you are given at the time. You are given this mark to receive in your right hand or on your forehead. That is the exact language of the Bible. You are given a mark in your right hand or on your forehead. Original. So Islam is going to be the one world religion. It ties back to now. Once you have that mark, so once they get everybody in the system. So let's go back to our time. Once they get everybody in the system with this, right, and with your number, whatever it is, that is how they're going to turn it off if you don't take the mark. So this is not the mark. This is the action of doing something, not the permission to do it. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I have to have a credit card. That's my action. Here's my action. Action, swipe it, action. Here's my vaccine card, my action. But I have to have permission first, right? I mean, right now we don't because they're still on. But when the time comes, they'll shut it all down, and then you're going to have to go receive this mark of Islam if you study the headband like I have, and you understand Greek, and there's his 666 is in Greek and Hebrew on the headbands and the armbands. So, and take that for what it's worth. But the mark is not. I'm sorry. This is not the mark of the beast, because this is just going to be the action to get it. You don't have permission yet, right? I mean, when they shut everything down, let's say right now they shut everything off, right? So we have this, it still works, but now they're shutting it down. Now we have to go to them and ask permission. What's the permission? You got to take the mark, right? So here's your mark.
So you
That's
think
my
that
permission.
you think that eventually will happen?
Oh, without a doubt.
Do you think we'll
Yeah.
see that in our time, or will it be?
See, personally, I try to stay away from timelines, but I'm going to answer your question. But because timing, no one is ever good at unless you are a true prophet of Yahweh, of Yeshua and Yahweh. We know nothing, right? But we can pray. We can pray for discernment. We can pray for knowledge and wisdom, right? So to answer your question, personally, I'm thinking within the next 10 years.
Wow, really?
Yeah, 2025, a lot of people have been, I say a lot of scholars and people of the cloud, whatever. 2025, I think Satan's going to be revealed at some point in the next 3 or 4 years. Now, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, because I not that I don't want to go through it, but I don't. I mean, I say I'm mentally prepared, and and physically and spiritually and all that stuff. But who's to say? Because it's going to get bad, So I don't know. But my if I was to tell you right now, Mike, I think within the next 10 years.
And you think that Lucifer, the Antichrist, will be seen in the next 3 to 4 years, huh?
Yeah, 2, 3. Yeah.
Do you have any idea who you think it might be?
Man, no, I personally I don't, but I'm listening to what people are saying about certain people. There's a guy. He'll be coming out of the. He should be, and mind you, I could be wrong. People that are talking me wrong, because this is all speculation. But we take the wisdom and the knowledge that we have, and we try to like how I know Islam is going to be the one world religion. That I do know for ontological certitude. So he's got to come out of Europe, somewhere over in Europe, maybe northern Italy, maybe northern Africa. I mean, somewhere in that area, he's going to be revealed. So look for it, and really, here's the main component. Look for him coming out of the UN, because that's the big, the big elephant in the room is the UN. So yeah, and I wish I could remember. Oh, maybe it was the France. Google that guy or something like that. So I'm gonna do it after we get off. Somebody I think said maybe the president of France or something like that. But it's never who you think it's going to be. Remember that.
Let's just hope that Biden doesn't call the Russian dictator Trump again.
Wait, say that again?
The Biden and the Russian dictator are meeting this next week. And when he called him Trump the last time.
Oh shit.
So let's hope that you don't say something like that again. Because they're worried right now that Russia's like putting their shit together to invade other countries.
Yeah, you listen, and you can't believe anything. You can't believe anything. Remember what I said. Don't believe anything you hear and half of what you see. Okay. They're opening portals over in CERN in Switzerland. I mean, the guys, we're moving so fast. I mean, what about that satanic ritual in Houston? And listen, this is something I didn't bring up. 2014. This is 7 years ago now. I was screaming at people we were at some bar, and I literally wasn't like going, "Hey!" I was like, "Look at the screen." It was the AMAs, and that song came out by Katy Perry, "Dark Horse." Dark Horse by Katy Perry. That was a satanic ritual right there on TV. And I said this way back in 2014, and people were looking like I'm cuckoo. And I said, guys, no, look at the symbolism. Look at what they're doing. And then, of course, we had this big, huge debacle in Houston, 4 weeks ago, whatever it was. So yeah, guys, it's right in front of us.
We don't hear nothing else about it though. There's nothing else about it. It's like it's all gone. It's all over.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They moved away. They moved away from that as quickly as they could because people are starting to see it.
Who was that? Travis Scott?
Travis Scott.
Now, wasn't he the first guy that did a collaboration with McDonald's?
I don't know much about him. I have no idea.
And wasn't he with one of the Kardashians?
Now that I did her here like this week or last week. Yeah. Chloe, I think. Maybe
He had a kid with him.
Everybody, everybody slept with the Kardashians.
Well, you know,
they're witches.
You know, Travis Barker's with one now. That's kind of weird after being with Kanye West. Travis Barker, the drummer for Blink 182.
Oh, okay.
I think it's Blink 182 and Travis Barker. Yeah. The Kardashians are the greatest women on earth, right?
Evidently, yeah. They're all witches, man. All of them. You know,
the one looks like one.
I lived in Hollywood, bro. I lived in Hollywood for 12 years. I was in Los Angeles, traveled the world. And
I've always said it's pretty bad when Caitlyn came out and looked better than his wife.
Yeah, I know shit. Yeah. And how about, what do you think the women thought when Caitlyn Jenner won Woman of the Year? Her first year out as a woman, and she won Woman of the Year. We've got women that are 60, 80, 40 years old. I mean, I would have been mad if I was a woman, you know?
He's still getting shit for that, ain't he?
Oh, man. It just shows you they're a bunch of cuckoo birds.
That was, who was it that did that stand up and got in trouble for all that?
Was it Dave Chappelle?
Dave Chappelle, yeah.
Yeah.
He got in trouble for all that stuff, man, talking about all that. But you know what gets me, you know, I just want to put this out there. Something happened this weekend in Kentucky. I don't know if you've ever heard of the guy, but his name's Morgan Wallen. You ever heard of Morgan Wallen?
Who is it?
Morgan Wallen, the country artist.
No, I haven't.
Well, back, was it 6 months ago? 6 months ago, he was getting out of a cab, and everybody's got a camera, okay?
Yeah.
And he's a white guy with a mullet, you know, like what Billy Ray had back in the day.
Billy Ray? Oh, yeah.
And he makes a remark. He says, pay that in off, okay? You know what I mean? The N word that nobody likes to say. His record label drops him. Radio drops him. All sponsors drop him. Okay. He has all these black performers come to his aid, say, you don't know him, you don't understand him. Okay. To this day, you can't get his album in any store. Okay. #1 album in the country. Did he say
R? Did he go nigga or did he go with the R?
He said it. I don't know, but he said it. Okay. Anyway, so his record label drops him. He's got the #1 record in the country right now. Okay. You can't get in Walmart, can't get in Kmart. If you go to eBay, you go to Amazon, it's like $40 a piece. I mean, these things are impossible to get, really. Okay. #1 album in the country. Because remember, digital is still, we still use digital for album sales. Okay.
Yeah.
So two of his songs are #1 and #2 right now on country charts. He does 3 shows in Lexington at Rupp Arena this week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all sold out. As you know, Rupp Arena holds about 15,000 people. That's where the Cats play basketball. So you tell me, why is it that someone who does that and gets that black mark, in my view, okay, I'm going to be 50 next year. I've never seen anybody get a black mark like that, and then people rally again around them.
Well, because I think people are tired of this cancel culture. I've got black friends that are so over a word controlling them. You know, I mean, trust me, this conversation has been going on with my quote unquote ethnic friends for 15, 20 years. They're going, why did we let this? And they're speaking for their. And here's the problem: it's the leaders. It's all about race baiting. It's all about control. It's all about keeping people mad. The word, it's a word. It's a fucking word.
Yeah.
My black friend, I don't care if you say it. I'd rather you say it so I know what type of person you are, right? You don't want to shut people up. Yeah, I want to hear exactly what you have to say so I know exactly who I'm dealing with. But these people that they use it for their purposes of getting people like this, always like this, right? Black, white, gay, straight, right? It's all about keeping, and why? It's all about keeping us busy down here at the bottom so we don't notice what the fuck they're doing up top.
You know, and the thing about it is, I could be wrong, but they never, ever released that the cab driver is black or white. And the whole thing. And the whole thing. You know, and I mean, it just boggles my mind, you know. I mean, you know, you're about as old as me. I'm not going to say you're as old as me, but you're about as old as me. I do not remember a time, even Vietnam. I wasn't around in Vietnam, but you know, I've seen Vietnam, things about Vietnam. The last 2.5 years of our lives has been the most tumultuous years of our lives on this world.
Oh, well, it's all purpose. It's what Satan's doing. Satan is stirring the pot. He's got his apostates in positions of power. The 13 bloodlines we talked about earlier. These are guys. This has all been planned out, man. All of it's been planned out, and it's being done for a reason. Keep us busy down here at the bottom. It's a fugazi. It's all fake. It's all fake outrage. And my friend, I mean, I've been sick of it I've been sick of it since the mid 90s. I've been talking about this crap and then being offended. It's really got big in the mid 2000s, you know, and then, oh man, but anyway, it's all to keep us busy and fighting with each other.
And I have to ask you, have you heard the new Kid Rock song?
Say that again?
Have you heard the new Kid Rock song?
Oh, no, I haven't.
It's called Don't Tell Me How to Live.
Okay, so I can go with that.
And he talks about snowflakes.
Good.
And he talks about how the this generation is a bunch of pussies. And I mean, it's right up your alley, man.
I mean, I'm as soon as we get off, I'm gonna go listen to
it. He says the F word about 100 million times. But I mean, it's like, if you like the old Kid Rock days of Devil Without a Cause,
yeah.
Oh my God, Kid Rock's back. And of course, there's a great band called Monster Truck who plays with him and sings with him. And their peers in Canada say that they're a disgrace to Canada for doing this song.
But see, yeah, you know what? See, that I don't have to listen. I mean, it's stupid. And people, I don't give a rat's ass what people think about me. I never have. Ever.
Me either.
Doesn't matter to me, man. But we've let the Satanists, we've let these occultists steer the direction of the country because we're not awake to what they're doing, because they're allowing us down here, Black Lives Matter and all lives don't matter and black and blah. You know what I'm saying? Keeps everybody busy at the bottom. So
yeah, I mean it's a bad deal, man. I mean, and you know, I'd hate to see what our fathers would have thought about, or our grandfathers would have thought about this time period. You know, our grandfathers were all about hard work, and you know, you didn't come home until dinner time, and your wife stayed at home and cooked and took care of kids. I mean, what would have they thought about this?
That's where she belongs, in the kitchen. Just kidding.
Tell Brooke that. Brooke will be whooping your ass.
Yeah. But no, it's true though. There's a certain because snowflakes, you know. So I do gotta go pick her up. Actually, the girls they're out at dinner.
Out at dinner?
Yeah, they're out eating dinner. I stayed here so I could talk to you because you're more fun.
Well, we'll be back next week, and also,
one thing. Don't forget, we don't live here. We live right here.
We live there on that disc.
Yeah, right. We're about like right there.
Okay, and don't forget also, we do want to make an appearance on your show, Michael Jivenin, because he's going to finish watching the rest of it, and he's just going to go ballistic and send me message. So it's like, what in the hell are these people talking about?
Yeah, so I got two things to do. I'm going to listen to that Kid Rock song, and I'm going to go back and finish that video. So I'd like to get on that show.
All righty, man. Well, we'll see you again next week. It's been good talking to you.
Yeah, brother. All right, have a good week. Tell your lovely I said hi.
I will. Thanks.
All right.